After the Black Tiger fire, which happened, I think, in 1988, we lost 48 homes, I believe, up on Sugarloaf Mountain. The county implemented a number of steps through our building code and through the site plan review process, looking at ignition-resistant materials, looking at requiring mitigation or wildfire mitigation plans for any new development that happened in the county that went through a review process. So dealing with the fire hazard through those pieces. That program, again, it evolved as a tool as time went on, and we became more knowledgeable and more sophisticated in how we could look at things. We have a staff person who has been our wildfire mitigation coordinator that's worked with the fire districts and homeowners to try to develop programs moving forward to get them to take action on their own. And most recently through grant programs with FEMA and the state. And that is where we've used grant money and get advisors that go out and we target homes. People register and sign up for this program, and an actual wildfire expert goes out, looks at their property, and gives them real ways that they can reduce their risk. Post 4 Mile Canyon fire, we did look and do some follow-up studies of what survived, what didn't survive, and how our regulations may or may not have contributed to that. And we found that the structures that had been through our process, that had done the wildfire mitigation, fared better than the structures that did not. So we did help. That helped our communication message. That helped with the community and building that trust with them and getting people to move forward and do some of those mitigation measures. You work with your community. You work with your fire districts. They're a very valuable tool as you move forward of being the people who are out there as first responders, either a flood or a fire. And so things that we can do to lessen the risk from the planning side up front helps put them in less risky situations down the road. So you really can garner a lot of support from them. Fostering that relationship, I think, is key. And it was done by my predecessor and the folks that were here after the Black Tiger fire to a large extent, working with those different organizations. That then when you go to your elected officials, you've got the community there with you, you've got these public safety officials there with you, and it makes it easier to move forward on implementing programs that help reduce that risk. Our GIS system that's been developed over the years is a key tool to how we look at and manage information in the county. We do our wildfire mapping, our hazard zone mapping through that, using overlays of the different factors that would come into it, slope, aspect, vegetation cover, and so forth, and can do wildfire hazard ratings for people, and that impacts what they need to do on their property. We keep updating that as technology changes, as we get improved aerials, pictometry, those sorts of things, where we can really look at the type of vegetation too. We can further refine what we're seeing as far as that information. Our Wildfire Partners program is an incentive program to look at existing development, and we're going to reach 1,000 households out in the county that we would not have gotten to in that fashion, in that speed. Over time, it's going to give these people actual tools to move forward. It gives them some financial assistance to move forward with mitigation on their properties. By partnering with folks, by partnering with the insurance agencies and getting the word out that says, if you do these things, you're going to be able to get insurance. You're going to be able to get it at this cost instead of an inflated cost, is a huge incentive that I think we need to be able to identify and communicate to the public as we move forward. We've looked at special improvement districts basically for wildfire. When a wildfire hits, it's not just the people that live there. There's the people that recreate in those areas, that use those roads to get to and from work. The people that drink the water all along the Front Range are impacted when there's a wildfire. So I think looking at ways to help finance some of these programs, improvement districts that would do that work, that would come up with a way to recoup those costs and be able to give it back to the community as a whole. Because I think we all benefit from not having a disaster or lessening the impacts of a disaster. The costs are astronomical to not just the person who might have lost their house, but to all of us, whether or not we were directly impacted. We were financially impacted through our county resources and how we've had to deploy them through roads reconstruction and building, through just the initial response. You spend millions and millions of dollars, and I think the old dollar spent now is going to save many dollars down the road. So doing an improvement district or something like that is, I think, has a lot of merit and should be looked at.